Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious.
Okay, Amender, do you honestly think Jeffrey Epstein did kill himself?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why?
I wrote about it, actually.
You wrote about it.
Yeah, I did. Here, give me a second while I pull it up.
I don't know the most data on the
This
subject,
is why
so
religions
this is
were
why
formed.
I'm not gonna.
I didn't tie my shoes one
Yeah,
time.
so I initially believed that Epstein did not kill himself, but there are many issues, and I can list the facts on the hypothesis that lean into how he supposedly did not kill himself, and that there was somehow a billionaire conspiracy to have him killed. It is true that the two cameras that were pointing to Jeffrey's cell did not work. It is also true that 2 weeks prior, his cell partner got transferred out of the cell to go to a separate cell. It is also true that the guards who were guarding were asleep. It is also true that the hyoid bone, namely the bone that was broken on his neck, indicates that he was strangled and not hung. So let's go through some of the facts to help unravel all of this. It is true that the guards were sleeping, though prior to this, they initiated lockdown on the West Wing where Jeffrey Epstein was stored. He was also on the 6th floor of the detention facility. To initiate lockdown on a wing, the process has to be that you have to put all of the inmates in their cells, you check each cell to confirm that they are indeed in there, and then you check the hallways and anywhere else where people might be. After that, you close that down. You close down the single entrance to the West Wing, which is a double locked door to the main hallway. Not only that, while the cameras did not work around Jeffrey Epstein's cell, the cameras were functional in the stairwell as well as in the hallway leading to the stairwell. So somehow, some way, this assassin would have to somehow avoid all detection and all the way to the 6th floor during lockdown when the guards are asleep. Then make it to Jeffrey Epstein's cell and somehow open that cell, which, by the way, cannot be opened without the guards, who, despite sleeping, are also in a locked room, preventing access to the control to open it. And then, after killing Jeffrey, somehow make his way out of the West Wing, which, again, on lockdown, again, has to be done without detection.
Unless it was
So
a
it
guard.
starts to pile up on how incredible
Unless it was a guard.
Hold on. Can I just finish?
Hold on.
Okay, whatever.
Okay.
So it starts to pile on how incredible this heist would have to be with or without billions of dollars backing it. It is a physical limitation issue, not a billionaire issue. An additional autopsy reported that the hyoid bone was broken, indicating that he was strangled. However, while that is statistically significant, roughly 60% of the time the strangulation is occurring, the hyoid bone can get broken. And if strangled, it's around 40%. So to say that the hyoid bone was broken is an indication where strangulation is fabricating real knowledge on the human body. So as a result, in conclusion, I can only reach that Jeffrey Epstein did, in fact, kill himself. He was not murdered. And secondly, on the guard thing, the guards were asleep. We can prove that the guards were asleep. There's cameras that show that they were asleep during the entire time.
Okay, well that last bit of data is like the most significant for me because like I could definitely see that like wow. Okay, so it's not just like a set point of like skill, physical like ability, right? Because like
what is
if you had those
I have a
cameras,
question.
because like it's totally
Damien, shut
possible
up.
to have those cameras like do a loop, I think. Right, like in all the hacker movies, you know,
How?
they do that loop, and especially if you have access to that
How?
like
They're
central
sleeping.
database or have friends. But
How big is this freaking billionaire cabal?
the police officers sleeping does actually like put a big hamper in that, right? Because, you know, if the police officers are required to open the door and they're sleeping, then even if, right, other people had access to other areas of the wing, or even though, you know, everything was locked down, they just ignored this one entry path that they left open for this guy. That still doesn't really matter because the police officers would need to be awake and be proof that they were sleeping. And then the police officers would need to knowingly let Jeffrey Epstein die, which is a lot harder of a sell than to just not do your job properly. So fair enough, I guess.
I have something to add. What's Amanda?
Yeah.
What is stopping, like, say, a police officer or a guard or whatever the fuck, someone with authority in that prison cell, to turn those cameras off in a significant time?
Cameras didn't get turned
Right.
off. They're fully
The
available.
cameras
the
were
entire
never
time.
turned off.
All the footage is there.
So where's the cell video?
Well,
Those
those
two
two
cameras
cameras
were not
broken,
working.
Exactly.
but every other
Exactly.
camera
Yeah,
What's-
so it
still
makes it
stopping-
look
was working.
suspicious. But
What's
like the
stopping
fact that
an
all of the
officer
other
from
cameras
turning
are
those off in a convenient
Shut up,
time and
Damien.
going in and killing this guy, knowing he
They weren't-
potentially
they
Well,
just
no,
weren't
those
working. They weren't
cameras,
turned off.
those cameras had been not
Like,
working for 2
thousands of
weeks
children
prior
were-
to him dying.
I have
right?
no idea
Yeah,
at
Yeah,
what
but
point
how do
they
they
were
know? How do
working
we
or not.
know? How do we know that he wasn't going to be there